Okay, let's learn a little bit about functions involving dates in Excel. So when you see a date in Excel, Excel is really storing the number of days after January 1st, 1900. And it's important to have functions that can manipulate dates. And so in this video and the next video, we'll go through a few of these. Okay, now, two of the easiest and the most obvious ones would be, suppose you want today's date. A spreadsheet that will always give you today's date. Today function with left parentheses and right parentheses will give you today's date. So I'm taping this on June 8th, 2015, probably NBC's favorite Excel function. Now, if you want today's date and time, you could do now. And if you remember what we learned about text functions, you could break this at the space and get the time and get the date, and that will update automatically to be correct whenever the spreadsheet opens. So those functions are quite important and quite useful. Okay, so here are some functions highlighted in yellow, the name of the function, and we'll show some examples of how they work. So if you want the year for a given date, you just say year for the date, and you copy that down. And the month, you say the month of the year. And if you want the day of the month, you say day. So that's the fourth day of the month. This is in January. Now, how would you take the 1 through 12 as returned by the month function and suppose your boss wants them to say January through December? Well, you would use a lookup table, and then you'd set up 1 is January, 2 is February, 3 is March, etc. That would be the easiest way to transform the 1 through 12 returned by the month function into January through December. Now, the day of the week, there's a weekday function. So you'd say here, now if you put a comma, see there's a whole bunch of options here. I believe the week starts on Monday, so I would use number 2. So Monday would be listed as a 1, Tuesday is a 2, and that one is Saturday. And again, if you want the 1 through 7 to be transformed into 1 is a Monday, 2 is a Tuesday, you use a VLOOKUP table. Now, if you want to put things together like concatenation with text functions, there's a date function. So you have a date with the date function. Here you put the year, you put the month, and you put the day of the month, and that will create the date. Now, suppose you want the serial number. There's how many days after January 1st, 1900. There's a function called DATEVALUE. Now, you got to put, date value, and then you have to put, let's say, a date 1/4/2003 in quotes, and that's a number of days after January 1st, 1900. Now, you can't really copy that down. It's just going to give the same thing. Okay, so the date value, you need the date in quotes. Okay, so now a neat function is the workday function. You give me a start date, suppose it's January 3rd, 2016. You want to know what's 50 work days from that start date. Well, what you would do is you would type in workday, and there's an international version which we won't go through. But it's very straightforward. If you go to the function wizard, you can get the help with that. This is assuming that Monday through Friday are the days of the week that people work. And now in the Middle East, Sunday is not a day off, and Friday is a fairly sacred or holy day. So that would be different. Okay, but let's assume Monday through Friday are the days you work. So we'd say work day, and so we'd say the start date, and we'd say comma 50. Okay, and that's going to exclude holidays. Okay, now see it's giving that serial number, which I don't like. I can do Control-1, and I can return it to a date format. This would be fine. March 11, 2016. Okay, now that excludes holidays. Now suppose you want to have your 50 work days from the start date of January 3rd not count holidays. So I added some holidays here. Martin Luther King Day 2016, I believe, is January 18th. So if I would say workday, this is an optional argument, and I would start with this, and I'd go 50 days later. The square brackets means it's optional. I could highlight these days, okay, as supposed to the holidays for that year. Suppose those are the only holidays. I know there's more. Okay, now again, it's giving me that annoying thing there. I want it to look like this. So that moved to 50 work days 3 days later. How can that be? Okay, well, March 11th was a Friday. So if you had one holiday, then to get another work day, you've got to add 3 days to it like that. Okay, now the network day will tell you basically, if you give me a start date and an end date, how many work days between those. Okay, so if I want to do network day, I could say equals network day days. Again, there's international. You can set the weekday, the days of the week that are the holidays, or the days, usual days off during the work week. So the start date I could say was January 3rd, 2000. Let's just make sure we match this. We're going to do C14. Okay, so I would do network days. Let's start there, and we'll end there. And if I think there's holidays, then I should go F18 through F20. Take those out. Okay, so in other words, okay, basically, there would be 152 days there, okay, taking out those holidays. Okay, now if I do the work days between, okay, with there being no holidays there, how many work days if you don't count holidays? Okay, I would start here, and I would end there. And there would be 154 days there, okay, if I don't include the holidays. I think I may have, see, weekday 2. Okay. So in other words, when I exclude holidays, there are less work days between those two dates than if I include the holidays. Now, a real nice use for the workday function, let's suppose you want to start with today and you want to list all the work days of the year. Let's not worry about holidays. So if I start with whatever date I'm on here, okay, now I would probably just type that in. Suppose I want my data to start there. Okay, now if I would say workday start date and go 1 day later. Okay, so that's going to be, again, it's doing this annoying thing here. Let's copy it down a bit here. So if I do control 1 date, again, general will give you the serial number. And if you want to take the difference between dates, Excel treats them as numbers after 1900, days after 1900. So if I widen this, you can see, okay, June 12th, 2015, if I start there as a Friday, then we skip to Monday. And of course, I could leave out holidays if I want to. But that's an easy way to not list Saturday and Sunday. In other words, you could list the trading days, the New York Stock Exchange is open. And by putting in the days it's closed, you'd omit those. That would be a lot easier than trying to write a complicated formula to leave out the days the New York Stock Exchange is closed. Well, that takes us through a lot of functions. Again, if I take the difference between two dates, so in other words, if I say how many days are there, and this isn't work days, just plain calendar days between there, we would get 7 days. Okay, now if you do want the serial numbers, what you can do is select Arrange, do Control 1, okay, and you can say General, okay, and you get that basically. Let's try it here. It should work here. Control 1, General, and it changes those to serial numbers. Okay, these I think were not the ones we used. Okay, so that's a number of days after 1900. If you want to change it back, you'd go back to date. like that. Okay. So we've got one last function involving dates that we want to teach you in the next video called the DATEDIF function. And if you want a trivia question, I'm not sure this is right, but the DATEDIF function doesn't show up on the function wizard. So if you go to the function wizard and you go under date functions, you'll see a lot of the functions we learned about. A lot of these have to do with, well, I mean, there are a lot of Excel functions that have to do with bond trading, so they're not under date functions. They're under financial functions. But we've covered most of the important functions involving dates. But DATEDIF is not listed there, but we'll learn about that one in the next video.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and there's a free course, a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, and all of these videos are coming from one of 3 books. So first, this one, which you can see here at the top of the screen, Microsoft's book, which has 355 reviews, and then it's, let's see, 4.6 stars. It's coming from this book as well, his marketing analytics book, which is down here, and you can sort of see 4.5, or his newest book, his analytics stories book, which is here. And with that one, you can see it's 4 point something, or maybe even 5. I don't think it's 5. Yeah, 4.8. And so, yeah, anyways, in the description, there's a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, or you can go to excelwithwayne.com/free, and it'll be there. But again, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just please let us know. Thanks.